Welcome everyone. Today I'm going to talk about what's on my hobby desk. So it's, as you can quite clearly see, Necromunda based. This guy has already been finished. Pretty much. I could paint it possibly a little bit nicer. But this was a Space Marine Reaver head, and I shaved his scalp a little bit and shaved around his neck so it would fit a little bit better on the stump. But as you can see, the biggest change is a missile launcher. So there's quite a few missile launchers in the 40k universe. I mean, you can get a big old Imperial Guard one, but I wanted this guy to be rocking a Space Marine one, mainly because I don't have Imperial Guard ones. My Space Marine ones, I do have quite a few left on sprue, so I've cut this one off I think it was Space Marine Scout sprue and stuck it on. So this guy originally was armed with the combi plasma pistol, and it was a quite simple conversion, so it didn't take lots to do. So that's the simple side of this video done. Done, right? That's it. Game over. Nope. I'll show you what I'm doing next. So next, because I have quite a few models I've picked up second hand of the same pose, combi plasma pistol and close combat weapon. My original one was the one they suggested you make out of the box. This guy with the old hammer and combi plas. And then I decided the hammer was quite expensive, so I cut it off and modified the arms slightly. Now, those Goliath players out there will know that the arms only fit in certain positions because of the muscle density. So there's a little bit of converting, but it didn't take too much. So this was the arm for the maul that you get in the upgrade kit. Probably recognise the handle there. And I've just snipped it off at that stage and stuck a chain axe on it. But this would be the fourth model, my next conversion, with the exact same loadout. Combi plas pistol. So I can't have that, so I'm going to have to modify him. Like so. So, you can't have two models the same. That's supposed to be a leader, right? A good old classic cigar. So, what I'm going to do with this guy is, I'm going to cut the arms off, being very careful to go in the muscle grooves. So, just there, for example, I'll point with a knife rather than my chubby little fingers. So, just along there. Be very careful, and along by the braces, and the same on the front to cut the arm off, and same with this arm. So I'll cut those off. I will probably swap the head out, because how many models do you really need smoking a cigar? All of them. I don't like copies, so I'm going to cut the head off and put another head on as well. And when this is done, I'm aiming for a leader with a heavy stubber. So, reading the bits box, what have I got? I've got this one, which looks quite nice, but you'll see the magazine's got a bit of a curve to it. That's going to take quite a bit of converting to get a straight curve. Or the one off the repulsor sprue. Actually, I think they're both off the repulsor sprue. That's just happened to be a blue one. This one. So, if it will focus for a second. There we go. But it does have an ammo box like that on the side. So I'm going to snip it off, see if I can make it a bit more streamlined, and then see if I can convert the arms of a model holding this stub gun. Okay, so this guy is now armless and headless. Of course, if you're building your conversion from the ground up, you will need to cut his head off or arms off. Don't glue it on and then cut them off, that's just weird. So here is the stub cannon, heavy stubber even. And I've drilled out the barrel and put the ammo on that side, as it should be. I'm hoping that the two handles that come with this kit are supposed to go either side of the gun and straddle, because this is supposed to be for a top of a tank, a turret emplacement. I'm hoping one will go straight on the back rather than on the side, and one will go on the top like a handle and see if I can modify some arms to hold those handles. So I'm imagining it kind of like that. Not sure really what to do with those nipply bits. So for the main handle of the heavy stubber, I thought that arm would be pretty good. So that one there is number 33 of the normal Goliath sprue, the one that normally holds the rivet cannon, and that hand looks pretty good as well. So rather than that massive handle, maybe that would be nicer. The other arm that holds the rivet gun is quite high up, but I'm sure I can modify it. It sits in there nicely. Maybe turn the hand 90 degrees. Cut it off at the wrist. Let's try it and give it a go. So number 20 on the sprue was an arm that's probably a better shape. So that's the one that normally holds the axe and things like that. And then when you get this piece here, you're going to want to cut out the handle itself, like so. And probably best to shave a little bit off that side as well, so remove the odd angled handle piece. So then he looks like he's holding a nice little handle. So you've still got the original hand from the rivet gun, because I thought that looked very, very good. And before I glue it on, I want to get the right angle. So that's kind of what I'm aiming with. So he's kind of got this big fat gun resting on his leg, and glue that kind of styling. So yeah, make sure you get that at the right angle before gluing it on. And it should need minimum green stuff as well, so you shouldn't need filling much of the gaps, especially if you're using plastic glue. And while the glue is drying on that one, because I do like to use plastic glue, it doesn't set quite as fast, but it gives a better bond. So that's the basic pose. So it looks heavy as, which it should, even for a Goliath. There's a little ammo pack. I am going to leave the Imperial Quiller on there, I think, but I can easily scrape that off when the glue is dry. And I always like to put the head on last, so it's facing in a more cinematic position. So maybe looking along the gun barrel, like especially if it's a Marine, because they're a bit more tactical. Space Marines probably would look underneath the gun. Goliath, maybe spray and pray. I'm just going to make a head up. And I thought that would be quite fitting for a leader head. One of the few models or characters that can afford a biomic. So there we have it. Like I said, once the glue fully goes off, I might get rid of the quiller, I might not, because it's not like this guy made this gun. He's probably found it or liberated it, shall we say. So that is the heavy stubber. I might even make a heavy bolter at some stage. I probably won't use this guy in a campaign. I just thought it'd be a wicked looking model. I do have loads of Goliath. I think I have about 30 Goliath. So the chances of me ripping through all of them in one campaign is unlikely, but not unheard of. My leader is the one that seems to die most of the time. So, heavy stubber to go alongside my missile launcher, my standard leader, and my leader with a slightly cheaper close combat alternative. So there you go. Didn't take much converting. Number 20 for that arm, the hand, and the other arm from the rivet cannon, and the heavy stubber came from the repulsor and impulsor and all those kits. If you're a Space Marine player, you've probably got a few of those kicking around. I know I had the Conquest magazine and I had 2 more of those tanks. Did quite a bit of conversion work with it. So you should get a few left over. Decided to leave the little nipply bit on there because it looks like you could just slot it into a gun emplacement and just blast away. I think it looks pretty good. I think it looks pretty pretty hard. You know, it looks like he could tote that thing around and gun some people down. I was umming and ahhing about whether to put a cool backpack on it, because I have a few different backpack options, including the new ash waste backpacks, which I think look pretty cool, and a nod to like the old heavy bolter or heavy stubber that generally have a backpack. Doesn't mean I have to carve off that lovely detail though to put the backpack on. I even have something possibly a bit more techy, like from a Skitari box, but that I think is a bit too techy for a Goliath. Maybe a Vansar or maybe some kind of trader would look better with one of them. I just like the fact that this guy is hunkering around a massive weapon, giggity, with a huge ammo box on the side. There are other heavy stubbers out there if you want to raid your bits box. Like I said, the other one that I was looking at did have an ammo magazine hanging down, but it's like a bit of a weird angle. I could always cut that off, and there is loads of orc bits in my bits box, so I could have a nice string of proper orky looking bullets hanging out this thing. But I thought it was best to have that big hulking ammo box on the side. But the choices are entirely yours, obviously, and depends on what's in your bits box, doesn't it? Alright, thank you for watching this very short video on me rant on again about some conversion work on my beloved Goliath. If you don't play Goliath out there, I'm so sorry I keep going on about them, but I love them so much. I mean, yes, the wheel's not great, the intelligence isn't great. If you're going against corpse grinders, which I do fairly often in my local club, the buddy Dan runs corpse grinders, I do swear a lot, thanks to their will, but I just love them. There's something about them. I never liked the original Goliath from the original set, but ever since N17, these Goliaths just look so fun. Takes a little bit more conversion because obviously the muscles have to slot into a muscle place, but they're just lots of fun to convert and play around with. And that, for me, is part of the fun of Necromunda. So stay safe, you wonderful people, and I'll catch you in the next video.